Ever wondered what the stages of a committed relationship are? Well, you're not alone. Relationships are a complex dance full of twists, turns, and sometimes a few bumps along the way. But understanding these stages can be like having a roadmap to romance, a guide to navigating the highs and lows of love. So, buckle up, fellow travelers, as we're about to embark on a fascinating journey. Stay tuned as we explore the 4 stages of a committed relationship and give some advice on how to navigate through them. First off, we have the honeymoon stage. Ah, the sweet, blissful beginning. This is the stage where you can't help but see your partner through rose-colored glasses. Everything about them seems perfect. They can do no wrong, and the world feels like a beautiful place just because they're in it. You're infatuated, captivated, and utterly smitten. The honeymoon stage is characterized by an intense infatuation. It's like a powerful magnet that pulls you towards your partner. It's a time of lots of firsts. The first date, the first kiss, the first "I love you." These moments are exciting, and they create a sense of euphoria that can be intoxicating. You're likely to spend a lot of time together, reveling in each other's company. You might even start to feel like you're living in a bubble, secluded from the rest of the world. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's easy to get swept up in it. However, it's also during the honeymoon stage that we tend to overlook our partner's flaws. We're so caught up in the romance that we ignore the little things that might later become big issues. It's like being on a holiday where everything is beautiful and exciting, but we're not seeing the full picture. So, how can you navigate this stage of the relationship? Well, while it's important to enjoy the honeymoon stage, it's equally important to keep your expectations realistic. Remember, nobody is perfect. Your partner will have flaws just like you do. It's important to recognize them and understand that it's okay. It's part of being human. Also, while the honeymoon stage is exhilarating, it's not sustainable in the long run. The intensity of emotions will eventually simmer down, giving way to a deeper, more stable love. So, savor these moments, but also remember that there's more to come. Lastly, communication is key. Even in this early stage, it's important to communicate openly and honestly with your partner. It helps in building a strong foundation for your relationship. Remember, while it's great to bask in the euphoria of love, don't lose sight of reality. Next up, the reality check stage, the rose-tinted glasses come off. Now, let's talk about this, shall we? This is the point where you and your partner start to see each other's flaws and differences. It's like walking out of a movie theater into bright sunlight, a bit disorienting and definitely not as comfortable as the dark, cozy theater. But hang on, don't panic, this is not necessarily a bad thing. Yes, you've just realized that your partner leaves the cap off the toothpaste, or maybe they have a weird habit of eating pickles at midnight. And yes, these things can be annoying, to say the least, but it's also the first real opportunity to understand and appreciate your partner in their entirety, quirks, and all. Now, conflicts are bound to arise during this stage. It's like 2 tectonic plates colliding, creating an earthquake. But remember, earthquakes also create beautiful mountains. The key is not to avoid these conflicts, but to navigate through them effectively. Here's some advice. Communication is your best friend. When you stumble upon a disagreement, talk it out. Express how you feel, listen to your partner's perspective, and find common ground. It's like playing a game of chess where you strategize, make your move, and then give your partner a chance to respond. Also remember that it's okay to have differences. It's these differences that make your relationship unique and interesting. It's like adding different spices to a dish. Too much of one thing can make it bland, but a mix of different flavors? Now that's a meal to remember. Respect is another crucial aspect. Respect your partner's individuality, their thoughts and feelings. It's like respecting an artist's painting, even if you don't understand it. It's their creation, their expression. Lastly, patience. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a strong relationship. It's a process, a journey. Enjoy the ride, bumps and all. Remember, conflicts are normal, and resolving them together strengthens the relationship. So buckle up, and let's dive into the next stage, the stability stage. Moving on, we have the stability stage, the sea after the storm. Ah, the sweet sigh of relief when the turbulence of the reality check stage has passed. Welcome to the stability stage, the calm and serene part of your journey. In this stage, you and your partner have weathered the tempest of the reality check, and you've found a comfortable rhythm in your relationship. You've learned to navigate around each other's quirks and pet peeves, and you've made peace with the fact that yes, she will always squeeze the toothpaste tube from the middle, and yes, he will always leave a trail of socks around the house. You've settled your differences, and you've learned to compromise. But here's the thing. While this stage is comfortable, it's also easy to get too comfortable. This is the stage where complacency can sneak in if you're not careful. You found your rhythm, yes, but that doesn't mean you should stop dancing. Remember, the stability stage is not about settling into a rut. It's about maintaining individuality and personal growth, even as you grow together. It's about remembering that you are two unique individuals who choose to be together, not two halves of a whole. So, how do you keep the relationship exciting in this stage? Well, keep dating each other. Yes, you heard me right. Just because you're in a stable relationship doesn't mean you should stop courting each other. Surprise each other with a love note, a spontaneous date, or a home-cooked meal. Also, keep learning and growing, both individually and as a couple. Take up a new hobby together or support each other in individual pursuits. Remember, a relationship is like a garden, it needs constant nurturing and care to bloom. And lastly, keep communicating. Talk about your dreams, your fears, your day. Keep the lines of communication open and remember to listen too. Remember, stability doesn't mean stagnation. Keep growing together. Let the stability stage be a phase of tranquil growth, not a plateau of complacency. And with that, let's move on to the final stage of our journey. Finally, we have the commitment stage, the till death do us part. This is the stage where you've both decided that you're in it for the long haul. You've seen each other's flaws, weathered the storms, and found a comfortable rhythm. It's not just about tolerating each other's quirks anymore, but rather about choosing each other, day in and day out. At this stage, the relationship has grown deep roots. You're no longer just two individuals in a relationship, you've become a team, a duo, a dynamic duo if you will. You know each other inside out and there's a deep bond and trust that has been built over time. But now, just because you've reached the commitment stage, it doesn't mean you can kick back, relax, and let autopilot take over. Oh no, my friends, the commitment stage is not the end of the journey, but rather the beginning of a new chapter. So, how do you keep the love alive and the partnership strong? Well, it's all about the 3 C's: communication, compromise, and continual effort. Communication is key. It's essential to keep the lines of communication open, to talk about your feelings, your dreams, your fears. Don't let resentment build up. Address issues as they arise and work through them together. Compromise is the 2nd C. It's about finding a middle ground, about understanding that you're two different individuals with different needs and wants. It's about giving and taking, about meeting each other halfway. The 3rd C is continual effort. Love isn't a feeling, it's an action. It's about making the conscious choice to love, to care, to respect every single day. It's about putting in the effort to keep the relationship exciting, to keep the spark alive. So there you have it, folks. The commitment stage. It's about choosing each other, above all else. It's about building a life together, about growing together, about facing the world together. Remember, commitment means choosing each other every day. So, there you have it, the 5 stages of a committed relationship. Let's take a moment to cruise down memory lane and revisit these stages. We started off with the honeymoon stage, the sweet spot where everything seems perfect and your partner can do no wrong. It's all rainbows and butterflies, but remember, it's okay when this stage fades, it's part of the process. Then we moved on to the reality check stage. This is when those rose-colored glasses come off and you start seeing your partner's quirks and flaws. It might feel like a cold splash of water, but it's essential for building a genuine connection. Next up was the stability stage, a calm after the storm, where you've weathered the challenges and now understand each other better. It's less about passion and more about deep, enduring love. And finally, the commitment stage. You've seen each other at your best and worst, and you're still choosing to stick around. That, my friends, is the power of commitment. Throughout these stages, we've sprinkled some advice, but the key takeaway is this. Every stage is normal, and each one serves a purpose in the growth of your relationship. It's a journey, not a race. So don't rush it, embrace it. Remember, every relationship is unique and moves at its own pace. So enjoy your journey, and may it be filled with love and growth.